everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on iteration retrospects. So, I've taken a video before this on what is iterations and how to plan for an iteration, but this is a video which is on iteration retrospect. So, let's get into it and see what is an iteration retrospect and why we need one. So, an iteration retrospect, it is a recurring meeting, usually around 60 minutes, or it can be more also, depending on your team and your team size. It occurs at the end of every iteration where the entire Scrum team and the stakeholders are involved. So, this meeting will include the entire Scrum team and the stakeholders. So, you would have the developers, you would have the product owner, the Scrum master, and the stakeholders. Everyone is involved in this meeting, and it is conducted by either the Scrum master or a facilitator. The idea is the facilitator should be someone who always conducts this retrospect meeting. So mostly it's the Scrum Master. In other times, it might be by another facilitator of the team. So this entire iteration retrospect meeting, it revolves around the concept of there is always room for improvement. So therefore, retrospects is a time for collecting feedbacks. Okay, so if you see in the Scrum, Agile or in the Scrum community, they would call it as Kaizen because it's continuous improvement. Every Scrum team and every Agile, team, they constantly seek for improvement. Okay, through feedback. So in order to improve oneself or a team, there is a feedback that is required. There is a knowledge sharing, and what could be the pros and cons, how a team can ramp up. So it is this time in this meeting, the iteration retrospect meeting, that teams come together to look back to. That's what retro stands for. You look back and see what are the things that happened in your previous iteration and how it can be improved. So this is about iteration retrospect meeting. Now, why have one? Why is it really important? So as I gave you a heads up in the previous slide, is it's for improvement. Okay, so it is an opportunity for Scrum teams to look back at what went well. So this is the first point: what went well, what did not go very well, and time to figure out what and how things can be improved. Okay, so not every iteration is perfect. Every iteration there might be certain things that would have been you know uh, blocking the team. There would be some things that wouldn't have gone well. There would be some things that have been improved and went well. So it's a time where you look back at both what went well and what did not go well. So when you look at things that went well, teams can focus on maybe processes. There would have been a particular process that was followed during the iteration and it went well. It increased productivity, something like that. Collaboration, teams should collaborate. Okay, you cannot be self isolated. So when team collaboration increases, there's chances and there is always a possibility of the productivity of the team also enhancing and increasing. There would have been certain tools that were introduced and used by the team that increased productivity or made things much more easier. Shout out, so it's not only saying that, oh, we did this, we did that. Shout outs is also important. Congratulating someone or an individual person for the effort they had put, or for something that they did the extra mile, for something that you want to really give them a credit for, you can shout out also. You can also give reflect back on certain methods that were used. You can also look back at how well the team coordinated, and also if there were any techniques that were used. All these may fall under things that went well. When a team wants to reflect on what did not go well, there can be different miscalculations. For example, there can be times where story points were not estimated well. So in that time, it would have been a particular story would have been expected to complete in a certain number of days, but then it extended, and then some other stories were not being able to be picked up. That caused a delay in, and a very unfinished and half baked iteration. Miscommunication would have been something that went wrong. Wrong estimations, as I said. Then you have blockers. There would have been certain blockers too, the iteration. For example, unplanned leaves. Okay, all these can be blockers, or a very key resource not available, a particular person or particular tool was not available to complete the jobs. Then there can be some delays, that occur, certain issues that have occurred. All these might be things that you want to look back and things that have not gone well. And in order for these things that have not gone well, you just don't leave it there on the shelf. You need to check what are the action items against this. Okay, so it is at that time the team checks for action items. So at that time, for whatever has been done, the team checks for what can be done in order to resolve all these things that did not go well. So these are the three things that are main and should be focused during iteration retrospect meetings. So I hope this video was informative. If you like this video, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.